看看这边的火车站。今天晚上要坐火车，看一下，和那个 Transnistria 一样，空无一人。为什么这边火车站都空无一人？但是有那个，大家可以看那个圆顶，老式的那种建筑。我刚刚碰到一个非常棘手的问题，他这边，不知道是语言问题，他说没有票去那个罗马尼亚。哇靠！幸好我今天来得早，不然那今天怎么办？啊！我问了旁边那个工作人员，他带我去一下。Yeah, she said yeah. Yeah, she said yeah. I don't know why.
Dar biletul la București aveți?
Dar nu-i Trion.
Ha? Nu-i Trion, numai la Iași este, da? Numai la Odessa, netul, на поезде нету. Нет, n-am.
旅行中难以遇到的意外，因为我在网上查了很多的资料，是说这边可以去坐火车去 Bucharest， 但是不行。我刚刚有问后面的他告诉我，他帮助我是说那边没有，他走去那边是他的同事，走去那边帮我问了，是已经停了。Hey, I'm looking to buy a ticket to Bucharest, Romania. Yeah, today. Yeah, the earliest if you can give to me. The earliest. Thank you very much. It's only this one. This any like before 7, like 6, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5.
9.
Oh no. Before that, 6, 5, 4, 3. Okay, I'll take that. 没火车有什么怕的？咱坐汽车去玩。我刚订了那个票是400。然后我现在在汽车站刚刚买完票，不好的一点是，要到晚上的7点半才能有车，所以说要坐到凌晨，明天早上凌晨。唉，不怕，没什么，也挺好玩的。车上见，我下去吃点东西。Zima, yeah. That one, yeah. Yeah, soup. Wait. Is there chicken inside? Oh yeah, chicken, yeah, cool. Yes.
Sauce.
Yeah, sauce, yeah. Thank you. Right, that's $68 3欧点这么多东西，我刚刚把所有的钱都用完了，还欠了他20欧。我觉得每次旅行中最爽的事情就是把当地的钱用完，因为，我记得我上次去塞尔维亚，钱没有用完，我把它带回去了，然后回爱尔兰换不了，什么地方都换不了。然后我网上查是说，塞尔维亚的钱只能在塞尔维亚境内换，在外面是换不了的。所以旅行的一个经验吧，就是说像一些小的国家，不可以换货币的，你最好把它在你离境之前全部换掉，不然的话你回到你自己的国家是换不了的。哇，这个汤非常好吃，大家可以看这里面有那个米，这个汤非常的浓郁。是鸡汤的底，但是里面没有哦，有一块鸡肉，里面有一点点饭，我好久没有吃到饭了。在旅行中吃到饭是多么幸福的一件事情。大家一定要来试这种像当地的，大家看我后面背景都是当地的人来的这种苍蝇小馆，这家也是在那个市集，中央市集的一个楼下，应该很容易找，因为这边我之前第一次试也是试了一家中央市集里面的，都是非常，我觉得这家比第一家要好吃很多。玉米面，我吃了3次，这是第3次吃，不会让你失望。尝尝这个香肠。看到吗？ 闻起来很干肉的味道。不错，可以，实打实的肉，猪肉。这一家真的是绝了，可以取20类，竟然没有手续费。Thank you very much. Thank you. 我刚刚不是说把钱全花完很开心吗？然后银行也可以找20类，但是厕所是2类，我又没钱，要我再取点钱的意思。天哪！大家还记得那天晚上那个餐厅里的那个男的带我来上厕所吗？我真的不想再续钱了，我想干干净净的走，不留下一片云彩。所以，我到了那天晚上上厕所，不记得是哪一楼，应该是2楼。
Okay.
这边有很多的酒。
Try.
我在想，反正等车，我发现有一件事情没有做，就是这边是葡萄酒有名的。
Yeah, so come with me.
Yeah,
at the
okay,
second
go with you.
floor.
Is it grape wine?
What?
It's a grape, yeah? From grape. This is from grape.
Yeah.
Let me check. Okay.
All our wines are from grapes.
Okay.
We
All of your
produce
wines are from.
only
Yeah.
from grapes.
It's famous for that. Yeah.
We are not like Turkish from different fruits. Without pesticides for grapes and without sugar. We don't put
Very
sugar
good.
in our wines.
It's very clear. Very good.
Interesting, you know?
Very
it's queen
very
of our
flavored.
winery. Seriously.
Okay.
It's queen of our winery.
非常好喝。
It's dry
冰
wine.
冰干干，然后口味很清香。
It's dry wine, but
The dry wine.
the flavor are sweet.
Yeah，还很甜。Where do you come from? Are you from Chisinau? Are you from Chisinau?
No, I'm from Ukraine.
Are you from Ukraine?
Yeah.
When did you move to Chisinau? While you're here?
To learn in our university.
Are you still a student?
I was 1 year ago.
Okay, so now you work for this.
Yeah, and from 1 year I was a student, and now I choose to learn to be sommelier. So I have proposition to work here. I finish economical.
Okay, is that university?
University.
Okay, in
University.
Economy. Okay, I see.
Yeah, it's the same here in our city.
Which part of Ukraine you come from? Kiev.
No, it's not from capital. 1 second.
它是
Lvov-Podolsky.
乌克兰啊。Okay, I don't know. Is
It's
it
near with Moldova,
Oh,
where
okay,
is
close to Moldova.
Nistru and
You know, many Ukraine girls they go to China from China. They go to China to be a
What part?
to be a model, modeling in China. You can still go.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Model.
model.
And you
Good
can
money.
dance.
Yeah, good money.
There's different ones.
No, Ukraine girls go to China for modeling to make money. Yeah,
It's a problem in our country.
yeah. It's hard to get a job there, right? The job
A
opportunities.
good job.
A good job, I see.
A good job.
More money, yeah.
And what did you see in our Chisinau?
Chisinau.
Interesting.
I arrived on last Saturday. I think it's a beautiful city. It's very cheap. It's just so cheap, and the food is amazing. I tried.
Seriously?
I like the food. Probably.
We like your food. You like
No.
our food.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. For the record, Chinese food is the best. I tried.
It's very different.
It's delicious here. This is a mamaligo.
Mamaliga.
Yeah, it's the best. It's the best. I love it best. Let me try this. Okay.
This is the wine, the special one.
This is 第二个，
It's reserve
这是第二个。
from 4 type of grapes.
OK， 4种葡萄。
Yeah, it's very interesting red dry wine that was 20 months in French barrique.
20 miles in French.
Months, 20
20
months.
OK， 20个月，这个是发酵了20个月。
Vacuum. if we can translate. Black woman.
这个葡萄味很重。It's the flavor of the grape. It's very stronger. This one's stronger than this. 这个比这个强。This one is more dense. Why you have to go to winery?
Because I'm sommelier there, and I must be there and here.
How many years you worked in this shop?
1 year.
Only 1 year. Which country do you prefer, Ukraine or Moldova?
To live or
To live, like life.
Because of course Moldova. Because
Why?
I'm Moldovan.
But you said you're from Ukraine.
I live in the city between Ukraine and Moldova,
okay.
and it's very difficult because
I see.
I have in my mind traditions from Ukraine and from Moldova. I'm
I
mixed
see,
between
mixed.
two. I
Yeah.
like more our country because
You like Moldova, yeah.
you feel like home. You know?
Okay, you feel like home.
Like
yeah.
home firstly. Secondly, people are different. And
What's the difference?
difference mentality. Thinking.
Mentality, okay.
Thinking.
Can you give me an example? Yeah, like what's the difference?
Different.
Yeah.
In Ukraine, the character, it's more wild. It's more
it's more
risk.
More open
Our
mind.
woman.
Okay.
About woman,
Okay,
tell you.
interesting.
Yeah, in Moldova, it's more about family, more about hospitality.
That's good.
More about food, more about
More about fun. Okay.
yeah.
Food.
It's very
Okay,
different.
a question. Because in China, we have a tradition like kids, when they grow up, when they start working, they normally send money to parents, like very family oriented. How about here in Ukraine? Do you like, you know,
So-
after university, after you can make money, you send money like maybe 100, 200 bucks to your parents. Do you do that in Ukraine and Moldova?
Very interesting. Firstly, hear about this.
That's a
when
tradition in
people-
China. Like we are very,
so
we are family person.
You must do this.
No,
yeah?
no, it's not must. But it's not must. But most people would do that. Most people they would just do because of
Like
our
respect,
culture.
yeah.
It's a culture. Yeah.
Really interesting. You
So
know.
do you have this like in Ukraine?
I will explain. It's a little bit different. I will tell you about Moldova. It's not tradition. Firstly, it's sometimes just can
It's not
be like
tradition.
this
Okay.
because it's very different.
Okay.
We don't have this.
You don't have this tradition to give money to parents.
I will explain. When children
Yeah.
grow up,
Yeah.
parents help children
Oh,
to
yeah.
buy a
Same.
house, a car, and parents give
we have
us
the same.
money
We have the same as well.
to buy different things that we need mostly, like a house, apartment,
Sorry.
and it's okay. And maybe another car or to travel. So parents help us.
Kids. Okay, I see.
Kids. But when they are, of course, very
Rich.
old.
Oh, okay.
Of course, children must take care
I see.
of parents.
Okay.
It's about money. It's about time to take care of,
Yeah.
or different.
Okay. Are your
The
parents
thing-
in Chisinau or back home in Chisinau?
Yes, in Chisinau.
Oh,
They
okay.
called me.
Nice. Do you live with your parents?
Yeah, at the moment,
Okay,
yeah.
at the moment. So you bought a house here, or it's
No, but I
you
wanna
rent?
do this. But at the moment,
Yeah.
our house are more expensive. Another month are more expensive.
Do you
another
mind if I ask if you buy an apartment in the city center in Chisinau? If you buy how much in euro? Like maybe here, like you know, like around here, like maybe let's say 2 bedrooms. 2 bedrooms.
It's
1
very
bedroom.
complicated. Your questions, you know.
Yeah. Do you know the price? Approximately, roughly.
Approximately
2 bedroom.
Oh, 2 bedroom.
2 bedroom apartments here.
You wanna buy?
No, I'm just curious. How much is it in the city center?
In the city center,
Yeah.
maybe 100.
100,000 euros.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. 100,000. 10,000是10万欧元。Okay. Do you drink a lot? Do you drink?
Good question.
You should be.
I should.
You should.
I drink, but you know, I drink just a little bit and that's all because
You don't.
for me, wine is like water.
Seriously?
Like
water?
No, 1 second. I will explain that.
That's the Russian
taste...
spirit.
No.
Russians wine. Vodka is like water.
No, because I taste different type of wines.
Okay.
Not my work.
It's your work. Yeah.
And
You taste
I will
every day.
taste a little bit, and I drive a car. The same.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
I see.
And maybe I will try 1 or 2 types and a very little bit. And that's all. I can understand that I need from this wine.
So how many glasses of wines can get you drunk?
Oh, I don't many glasses.
Many glasses.
If we talk about
Yeah,
all
let's
this
talk about
level,
that. How many get you drunk? Like, you know,
I will.
how many you can drink?
To be drunk?
To be
or
drunk.
in general?
To be drunk.
To be drunk.
To be drunk.
Okay. I think 3.
Okay. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
3, 4, it's a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
3.
3.
Yeah, for me I think similar.
Or 2, depends.
Yeah,
1
for me
second.
too. Yeah,
I
go
will
ahead.
come back.
Go ahead, take your time, no worries. Yeah. 去罗马尼亚之前的一点小插曲。Hello, I'm going in. Yeah, thank you. 上车。本来我今天应该是在这辆火车上，然后可以参观一下这样的车厢，前苏联的车厢。我连讲稿都准备好了，因为从摩尔多瓦到罗马尼亚中间过境的时候，会把火车提起来，然后会换车轨，是因为以前战争的原因，不啦不啦不啦，因为战争，俄罗斯人特意设计，这样敌人就不好入侵。我连讲稿都写好了，然后现在大家看我在哪里，在公共汽车，而且这辆车比我想象的要小很多。给大家看一下公交车的车厢，后面这一排是睡的。现在10点半，然后到了一个边境城市叫卡湖，然后应该是这边要越境了。刚刚在这边接了一个乘客，现在在加油。我在想，这一路上可能加起来，现在有2个乘客了，刚刚下了2个，我不知道他怎么赚钱。现在在边界那边就是罗马尼亚，应该。我的妈呀，我真的好困！我从来没有坐过这种过夜的汽车，这一次是我第一次体验一下。本来我应该是睡在火车的卧铺上，没办法，我现在是11点，但是应该是睡不着，因为路太你知道太陡了，能躺一下养精蓄锐。这一次是真的是检查得很严，他在那边摸车上，看可能有没有藏毒品啊，到处看，反正弄了挺久，弄了大概1个小时，整个加起来1个小时。然后这次是我第一次陆路过安检，真的是非常非常的严，比下飞机过安检还要慢。布加勒斯特已经快到了，朋友们，大家看一下。我竟然在这里睡，真的有睡到觉，虽然每分每秒都在震，但是有睡到觉，有补到一点。还要去坐火车。